It started with a smirk and a live that nobody expected. 50 Cent, the king of controversy, the man who built an empire from chaos, went live from his New York studio. Behind him, gold plaques glimmered. In front of him, a phone, streaming to hundreds of thousands. Then he said it. Young Jock out here talking like he built the game. Boy, you rented your lane. The comments exploded. Every blogger, every fan, every hip-hop page lit up at once. Because when 50 talks, the world listens. In under 10 minutes. His words would spark a fire the industry hadn't seen since his feud with Ja Rule. This wasn't a casual joke, it was personal. And by the end of that live, everyone watching knew Young Jock's name would never sound the same again. #50Cent, #YoungJOC, #HipHopDrama. #RapBeef, #Gunit. The night began quietly. It was just another evening in Manhattan, city lights flickering against glass towers. The hum of distant traffic filling the air. Inside a dimly lit studio in Midtown, 50 Cent leaned back in his leather chair, scrolling through his phone. He wasn't supposed to go live that night. But if there's one thing everyone knows about Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, it's that he never waits for the perfect moment. He creates it. That night, the rap world was still buzzing from the chaos between Cardi B and Young Jock. Jock had clawed his way, back into headlines after years out of the mainstream spotlight, dropping freestyles, lives, and interviews that had social media split in two. Some praised him, others mocked him, and 50. He was just watching. Then at 10:47 p.m., his Instagram live notification pinged. Double quotes at 50 Cent started a live video. Within seconds, over 100,000 viewers joined. The camera showed 50 sitting in his studio, a glass of champagne in hand, a faint grin tugging at his face. His laugh echoed through the speakers, that deep, unmistakable laugh that always came before trouble. Oh man, y'all see this dude Young Jock wildin' again? He said, shaking his head. Talking about legacy like he the one that built hip-hop. Boy, if you don't stop. The chat blew up instantly. 50 trolling again, not Jock catching strays. This bout to get messy. 50 took a sip, smirked, and leaned forward. Listen, I respect the hustle, always. But don't get on these lives acting like you've been running the game. You had one hit, bro. One. It's going down, yeah, we all remember. But after that, it went down for real. The viewers went crazy. Clip pages started recording. Fans began tagging Jock's account. #50 Cent Live trended within minutes. Then 50 reached into his desk drawer and pulled out a thick folder. Y'all want to talk legacy? He said, let's talk numbers. He held the papers up to the camera. Old label reports, chart summaries, performance receipts. This right here. That's G-Unit numbers. 10 million sold. Global ain't no debate. He tossed the folder aside. Now, this here. He picked up another page, is Jock's peak year. 2006, dude made noise for 6 months. Then ATL forgot about him. Now he won a beef with Cardi like it's 2004. The audience roared with laughing emojis and shocked faces. But then 50's tone shifted. He leaned closer. His voice dropped. What they don't tell you is, Jock used to run errands for some of my old connects back in the day. Yeah, he was around, but not like that. You want to talk about exposure? I could really tell y'all how he got that first deal. The comments froze. Wait, what? He about to spill everything? Finish if he keeps talking. 50 paused, smirked, and said, nah, I ain't petty. Not today. But stop playing with my name when you can't even own your masters. Boom. That line echoed through the internet like a grenade. Stop playing with my name when you can't even own your masters. Within an hour, every blog from the Shade Room to Hot New Hip Hop posted the clip. Twitter exploded. Fans reposted it with captions like, 50 just ended Jock's comeback tour. He really pulled up with receipts. The man said errands. Well, for Jock, it wasn't funny. Back in Atlanta, he was on the phone with his manager when the live hit his feed. Yo, 50 just went off, his manager said. He's saying wild stuff. People think you is his errand boy. Jock froze. He'd been through shade before. Trolls, gossip, industry politics. But this was different. 50 wasn't just a rapper. He was a mogul. A man whose words could crush reputations overnight. He replayed the clip 3 times. Each time, that same phrase hit harder. You can't even own your masters. That wasn't just an insult. That was a deep cut, something personal. Something from inside the industry. JOC clenched his jaw. 8. He wanna play that game? Bet by morning, 50's live had been viewed over 2.3 million times. Clips were everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Even news outlets started covering it. Charlemagne Tha, God said on The Breakfast Club, 50's the last person you want on your bad side. He got too much info and zero chill. Meanwhile, Jock went silent. No posts, no responses. Until later that afternoon when a mysterious tweet appeared on his profile. I don't do errands no more. I run businesses. Big difference. Hashtag check the facts, the internet lit up again. 50 saw it and laughed. He reposted Jock's tweet on Instagram with the caption, "You running businesses? Cool. Just make sure they profitable, champ." Hashtag Curtis said so at IAM Young JOC. Fans went crazy. 50's bullying again. This man never stops. We need Jock to respond. But here's the thing about 50 Cent. He doesn't throw shots just for fun. He sets traps. And Jock. He walked right into one, because within 24 hours, another clip surfaced. A 2008 interview where Jock admitted he didn't own his masters. The internet put 2 and 2 together. 50 wasn't lying. Now, it wasn't just banter. It was exposure in the middle of the chaos. 50 dropped another bomb. He posted a cryptic story. Maybe I'll drop that remix we did back in '07. Never cleared it though. Wonder why? Fans started speculating that 50 had unreleased music with Jock, something never heard before. If that was true, it meant he really did have leverage. Blogs exploded. 50 hints at unreleased collab with young Jock, proof of old ties. Did Jock lie about his history with G-Unit? 50 Cent is playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. And as always, 50 stayed smiling. He wasn't angry. He wasn't defensive. He was just doing what he does best, controlling the narrative. And now, the whole world was watching young Jock again, not for his music, but for how he'd respond. The morning after the storm, Atlanta woke up restless. Phones buzzed, notifications stacked. And every barbershop conversation began with the same line. You see what 50 said about Jock last night? By now, the clip had over 4 million views. Every gossip page from Hollywood Unlocked to Vlad TV had posted it. Jock's face, half serious, half humiliated, filled every thumbnail on YouTube. But behind that silence, young Jock was fuming. Inside a downtown recording studio. He stood pacing the floor, hoodie up, phone in hand, jaw tight. His team begged him not to respond. Let it die down, one said. You respond, you feed him. But Jock wasn't built to stay quiet. He'd clawed his way out of obscurity once. He wasn't about to let another man, even 50 Cent, bury him again. He hit record on Instagram Live. Within minutes, over 250,000 people joined. The camera flickered on, Jock sitting in a black hoodie. Gold chains glinting, eyes cold. Ayo, let me say this once, he began. I ain't never been nobody's errand boy. I earned my spot in this game. And I ain't gotta prove that to nobody. The comments exploded. Jock finally token. Here we go. Don't mess with 50 though. Jock took a breath, then leaned forward. 50, I respect you. Always did. You a legend. But don't twist the story, bro. Yeah, we crossed paths. Yeah, we had combos back in the day. But don't act like I was out here running errands for you. You know, that ain't true. He paused, then smirked. And you talking about masters? Cool, you're right. I ain't own 'em back then. But guess what? I do now. The chat exploded. Wait, he own 'em now? This just got interesting. Receipts or it didn't happen. Jock reached off screen and grabbed a folder. He held up contracts, real documents, notarized, dated. See this? That's ownership. That's paperwork. My lawyer made sure I got every piece back. I ain't the same Jock from 2006. I'm a businessman now. The viewers went wild. The internet, once laughing, started shifting. Dogs changed tone. Young Jock fires back with receipts. Claims he owns his masters now. Jock refuses to bow down to 50 Cent. But Jock wasn't done. He looked directly into the lens. Voice calm, but cutting. If we've gone talk about legacy, let's talk about character too. You got power, 50, but you also got a habit tearing brothers down instead of lifting them up. Silence. Even the comments section slowed down. JOC leaned back, folded his arms. You a mogul now. Power, movies, all that. So act like one. Don't use your platform to clown people who still grindin'. That ain't real. And with that, he ended the live. No outro, no hashtags, just silence. But that silence was louder than anything he'd said before. By noon, hashtag YoungJOC Live trended across Twitter. Clips flooded TikTok, edited with dramatic music. Side-by-side comparisons of both men's lives. Fans started choosing sides. Team 50, 50, just telling the truth. Jock fell off. Ain't nobody bumping him in 2025. Team Jock, man spoke facts. 50 too old to still be beefing with folks? Even celebrities weighed in. Rick Ross posted a laughing emoji under Jock's clip with the caption. A laughing emoji under Jock's clip with the caption. Told y'all, ownership matters. But the real twist came when DJ Envy dropped a bomb on The Breakfast Club. I just got word from a source that Jock's telling the truth. He really bought his masters back in 2019, quietly. He's not capping. Charlemagne nodded. Then 50 might have picked the wrong one to play with. The studio fell silent. Meanwhile, 50 Cent saw every post, every clip, every headline. He didn't respond. Not yet, but behind the scenes, he was plotting. In his Connecticut mansion, surrounded by screens. 50 rewatched Jock's live. That smirk returned. Oh, he wanna talk character. 8? We can talk character. He opened his phone and typed something. A few taps later, message went out to his video editor. Pull that 2010 clip from the archives, the one from Bet Weekend. You know the one? Within an hour, 50 posted a throwback video to his Instagram. The caption read, "Funny how people forget what they said when cameras wasn't rollin'. Hashtag memory lane at IAMYoungJOC." The video. A grainy backstage clip from a decade earlier, young Jock laughing, shaking hands with 50, and saying, "I man, if you ever need me to run something for Jew Unit, I'm down. Just say the word." The crowd gasped. Comments exploded. He really said IT. That's the errand boy line he meant. Jock just got exposed again. 50 sat back, phone in hand, sipping champagne, watching the chaos unfold. But what fans didn't know, that clip was only half the truth. Hours later, Jock went live again. He looked calm this time. No folder, no anger. Just clarity. Yeah, I remember that moment. We was yoking. It was a bet after party. Everybody laughing, everybody drunk. 50 know that clip ain't serious. But he'll post it like it's gospel. That's what he'd do. He, a storyteller. He smiled, not bitter, just sharp. Thing is, I ain't mad. You gotta expect that from 50. He's a businessman first. He know how to sell controversy. He turned beef into promotion. He been doing it his whole career. Then Jock said something no one expected. Truth is, I used to look up to him. Still do. But sometimes your idols become your rivals. And when that happens, you learn who you really are. The line hit like a sermon. Clips of Jock's live spread across social media with captions like, "Respect." Jock handled that like a man. "Ain't beef no more. This poetry." Even fans on 50's side started softening. For the first time, it didn't feel like a war. It felt like a story about pride, power, and survival. But 50 wasn't done yet. At midnight, he posted a black screen with the words, "Tomorrow, noon, the truth drops." Fans went insane. What truth? He got a diss track. He about to nuke Jock's whole career. And so, the stage was set. The next day would decide everything, the truth, the lies. And the legacy of two men who refused to bow. The countdown began. 12 hours to go. The internet held its breath. Noon, New York City. The hip-hop world stood still. Twitter was chaos. Instagram was fire. Every blog headline screamed the same thing. 50 Cent promises to drop the truth at noon. Young Jock responds. Even major outlets like Complex, XXL, and The Shade Room went into countdown mode. 12 p.m. The moment hit, and then it happened. On 50's Instagram Live, over 800,000 viewers flooded in a record-breaking number. The screen flickered. Dark room. Spotlight on 50 Cent. He was sitting in front of a massive LED wall. Images flashing behind him, photos, screenshots, and clips. All time-stamped. He started with a smirk. 8. Let's clear the air. 'Cause everybody acted like I woke up and decided to pick on young Jock. That ain't what happened. Let's talk history. Commas flew in. Here we go. 50 about to end this man, Jock better pray RN. 50 leaned forward. Voice sharp, tone surgical. Back in 06. Jock came to New York, trying to link with G-Unit. He said he wanted mentorship, some guidance. I respected that. So I gave him a chance. Brought him into some meetings, some label connects. He said he was ready to move different. Behind him, a picture flashed to 50 and young Jock at a G-Unit event from 2006. Thing is, I put him in rooms with people that could have changed his career. But instead of locking in, he was chasing every bag, every club night, every brand deal. I told him, bro, focus on the music. He said, I'm good. Next thing you know, he everywhere except the studio. The LED wall behind 50 changed again. Clips of Jock on reality TV, hosting radio shows, appearing in memes. So yeah, he's successful. Cool. But don't act like I never tried to help. Don't act like I'm hatin'. I just tell the truth. Tone shifted. 50's voice dropped lower. Now he want to talk about ownership? Good. I love that. But I got the receipts too. He held up a printed document. Zoomed in on it. This right here. Jock sold partial rights to his early catalog back in 2013 to a third-party publisher. So yeah, he owns his masters now, but not all his royalties. He forgot to mention that part. The comments exploded again. He got the papers, Jock half-owned. No way, 50 bringing legal docs now? Oh my god. 50 leaned back, satisfied. I ain't gotta disrespect nobody. Facts speak louder than clout. I don't beef, I expose. The audience was stunned. Even 50's haters couldn't deny it. The man had come armed. But then, as the stream went on, something strange happened. A new account joined the live. Username, @TheRealCardIB. The comments went wild. Cardi B just joined. This just went nuclear. Please, no way she's jumping in. 50 noticed and laughed. Oh, look who in here. Cardi, you tryna moderate this? Cardi typed in the comments, I ain't moderating nothin'. Just watching. But let me say this ain't beef. This ego. The chat froze. Even 50 stopped smiling. Cardi kept typing. Jock, a grown man. He learning. You 50, you already a legend. Why tear down another man trying to rise? 50 read it out loud, then chuckled. Cardi trying to play peacekeeper. Respect. But you know me, I don't do I keep it public. But Cardi wasn't done. Public don't mean powerful. Sometimes the loudest ones in the room, the weakest. The crowd went crazy. Cardi B just checked 50. No way she said that live. She bowled far FR. 50 laughed. But his tone changed. Less humor, more tension. 8. Cardi, I see you. But you know how this game go? If you speak on it, you in it. She replied instantly. I've been in it. Ain't new to smoke. The audience lost it. The live was now trending on every platform within minutes. 50 versus Jock had turned into 50 versus Cardi. Back in Atlanta, young Jock was watching it unfold. His face unreadable, eyes fixed on the screen. He whispered to his engineer, "She really said that." The engineer nodded. "Yeah, bro. She defending you right now?" Jock exhaled, rubbing his temples. "Damn, didn't expect that one." For years, Jock and Cardi had only exchanged light words online. Mutual respect, never friendship. But now it seemed she'd chosen a side. And the industry noticed. Headlines hit instantly. Cardi B enters 50 Cent versus Young Jock feud, fans shocked. 50 Cent calls out Cardi live, internet divided. Within hours, blogs and podcasts dissected every second of the live. Charlemagne called it digital warfare. DJ Acadix dubbed it a generational shift in power. Because what had started as a one-on-one feud had now pulled in an entire new player, a queen of modern rap. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, 50's team scrambled. His publicist whispered, "You poked the wrong one this time." Cardi's got a massive fan base. The moment you go too far, you're trending for the wrong reasons. 50 didn't blink. Let it trend. I built my empire on trending. But his smile faded just a little. A rare moment of hesitation. That night, 50 posted a cryptic tweet. Funny how people play hero when they wasn't there in the trenches. Hashtag stay tuned. No names. No tags. But everyone knew who it was for. Cardi didn't stay silent. Minutes later, she fired back with a tweet of her own. Ain't about heroes. It's about humanity. Stop confusing fame with facts. The internet broke. Cardi vs 50. This turned into Avengers-level beef. She bowled for real by midnight. It wasn't just about Jock anymore. It was about the old guard versus the new wave. About legacy versus relevance. Power versus empathy. Music blogs started drawing lines between eras. 50's ruthless dominance and Cardi's unapologetic heart. Meanwhile, young Jack posted just one thing on X, formerly Twitter. Didn't ask for nobody to fight my battles, but respect to the ones who see the truth. It got 1.3 million likes. Suddenly, Jock wasn't the meme. He was the moment in the shadows of the digital battlefield. One question began to echo through the culture. Was 50 Cent losing control of the narrative he built? Or was he simply playing another level of chess the world couldn't see yet? Because those who knew him best whispered the same warning. When 50 goes quiet, he's not done. He's loading, okay? And somewhere deep in his studio, the faint sound of a beat began to play. Dark, heavy, cinematic. Dark, heavy, cinematic. A diss track, a confession, or something else entirely. Whatever it was coming. And this time, no one, not Jock, not Cardi, not the fans, would be ready for what 50 had planned next. Rain fell over Manhattan like static gray, unrelenting, electric. Inside his Midtown studio, 50 Cent sat in front of a glowing console, bass lines trembling through the floor. The world thought he'd gone silent after that storm of lives and tweets. But those who really knew him understood. 50's silence was strategy. On the screen before him blinked 3 files. Truth_part2.wavcard, icut.mov, legacy.mp4. He clicked legacy. A deep snare rolled out. His voice, CC deliberate, filled the room. They want me to fold. I built this from ashes. Ain't no rumor strong enough to burn steel. It wasn't just a diss track. It was a short film, clips of news headlines, flashes of Jock's live, Cardi's tweets. Even old bet footage woven between verses that cut like razors. The hook was simple, lethal. Talk what you want, receipts don't lie. Legends don't argue, legends testify. At midnight, he uploaded it to YouTube. Title: Legacy 50 Cent official short film. Within 20 minutes, the view counter glitched past 1 million. The internet scam sections ignited like gasoline. This man turned beef into cinema. 50 back in album mode, he really name-dropped Cardi. Because yes, he had. Not maliciously, but with the precision of a storyteller. Queens bred me. Bronx test me. Some people talk peace till they trending messy. Everyone knew who Bronx meant. Cardi B fired back instantly with a single tweet. Cute poem. Still petty. The war had moved beyond versus it was ideological. Old school armor versus new age authenticity. Young Jock Reamer in Atlanta. Jock watched Legacy in silence. No anger this time, just a long breath and a quiet. He really did it. Instead of going live, Jock did something unexpected. He recorded a podcast episode, no cameras, no filters, titled Respect Ain't Revenge. His voice came through calm, reflective. When 50 threw shade, I felt small again, like I hadn't grown. But growth ain't about clapping back. It's about not becoming the noise that hurt you. He spoke for an hour about pride, money, the cost of fame. And somewhere in that monologue, the culture shifted. Clips spread across TikTok not as memes, but as motivational sound bites. You can't win beef with bitterness only by building something they can't tear down. Hashtags started trending. Hashtag respect, AINT, revenge. Hashtag Young Jock Speaks. Even Cardi reposted one, captioning it, growth. That's the energy. The unexpected voice. 3 days later, another voice entered the arena. A familiar one. From the shadows of hip-hop history came Ja Rule. The irony was perfect. He went live laughing. I'm watching 50 due to Jock. What he did to me 20 years ago? Same playbook, same ego. Different decade. The comments exploded. Nitrogen Monox, way, Ja Rule came back. Full circle moment. Ya's tone wasn't bitter, it was almost poetic. Thing about beef. It don't end with diss tracks. It ends when somebody decides to evolve. His words hit differently. Even 50 Cent fans had to admit the man had a point. Within hours, media headlines screamed, Ja Rule breaks silence on 50 Cent versus Young Jock drama calls for peace. Hip-hop's old rival returns as voice of reason. 50 Cent responds for once. 50 didn't rush to reply. He watched Yaz live quietly, a grin flickering. Then he posted a photo, himself and Ja Rule from back in the day. Black and white, captioned, time heals, even bullet wounds. Maybe words too. Hashtag legacy continues. Fans didn't know what to make of it. Was it peace? A setup? Another chess move? But one thing was clear, 50 Cent had shifted tone. The Predator had turned philosopher. The Culture Responds podcasts. Radio shows think Peas Is All dissected the evolution. This wasn't just beef anymore. It was a commentary on fame, ego, and redemption. Hip-hop. Bloggers called it the age of accountability. Fans started editing together 50s and Jock speeches into montages style. TikToks about growth. Even Billboard dropped a feature. From war to wisdom. How 50 Cent and Young Jock redefined beef in 2025. Streams for both artists skyrocketed. Jock's old hits re-entered Spotify charts. 50's short film hit 20 million views. The private meeting weeks later. In an undisclosed New York hotel, 3 black SUVs pulled into a quiet garage. Inside a dim conference room, cameras banned, 50 Cent, Young Jock, and Cardi B sat across from one another. A mutual friend. Fat Joe had arranged the meeting. Y'all making the culture look wild right now, he said, hands open. Time to make it look strong. Silence filled the room. Then 50 Cent spoke first. Ain't no hate. I just talk loud. Always did. Jock chuckled. And I always take it personal. That's on me. Cardi leaned back, smiling faintly. Y'all too grown for IG wars. Let's turn this into a win. That was the birth of the Legacy Panel, a one-night live event on Revolt TV, where all three would speak about music, ownership, and responsibility. The night of the Legacy panel stage lights. Applause. Cameras rolling. Millions tuned in worldwide. 50 Cent, Young Jock, and Cardi B sat on plush chairs beneath a banner reading, "Respect the journey." Cardi opened with honesty. "We let social media narrate stories we didn't even write." Jock followed. "Real men fix what pride broke." Then 50 Cent smiled, a rare, genuine smile. Sometimes the truth ain't about exposing somebody else. It's about exposing yourself, what you've still gotta learn. The crowd erupted in applause. The aftermath clips from the event flooded every platform. #Legacy panel trended #1 for 2 days. Within weeks, 50 Cent announced a documentary deal with Netflix. Power Plays, The Art of War and Redemption. Young Jock released a new single produced by Hit Boy titled Second Wind. Cardi B donated proceeds from her next single to music mentorship programs in the Bronx and Atlanta. The entire feud that began with a single live ended as a story of evolution, 3 careers reborn from one spark of chaos. The final scene months later, a quiet cafe in Harlem. 50 Cent sipped black coffee, no entourage, just reflection. A fan approached nervously. "Yo, Fifth, you really changed the game again." 50 grinned. "Nah, I just reminded it what change looks like." Camera pans out. Rain begins again, soft, rhythmic, like applause from the sky. Fade to black. 50 Cent #YoungJOC, #CARDIB, #Legacy panel, #Hip Hop History, #Respect Taintrive Moves, #Respect #Power Moves, and just like that, the storm between 50 Cent and Young Jock shook the hip-hop world to its core. 2 men from 2 eras, one built on Raw Street power, the other on Southern hustle, collided in front of millions. But instead of destruction, what came out was revelation. 50 didn't just expose Young Jock. He exposed the truth about the game, loyalty, legacy, and the price of fame. And Jock, he didn't fold. He learned. He evolved. Now, the question is, what happens next? Will 50 double down or extend a hand? Will Jock rise from the ashes stronger than ever? Tell us what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. For more raw industry stories. 50 Cent #YoungJOC, #Rap Beef, Hip Hop News, #Drama Unfolded, #Respect the Game, #Gun It, #Culture Talk, #Gun It, #Culture Talk.